Thank you for joining us tonight for the first micro pitch of the year. I have to start by thanking our host location, Newport News. We'd also like to thank the cities of Hampton, Williamsburg, and Poquoson, as well as James City County and York County.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Gary. In less than 2 hours, we're going to know the first group of pitchers that will advance to the championship pitch event on November 6th. For tonight, and with each micro pitch event, we will feature a series of founders to pitch, and then the top 3 pitchers from each event will advance to the championship pitch event that is going to take place November 6th. So what you're watching tonight is the first stop of the year. But before we get started, Gary, what are the ground rules?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. We have a few ground rules, so just really some requests. We ask that you refrain from using the chat feature to make comments to everyone, especially while someone's pitching. It's just distracting, and we don't want to distract the pitcher when they have their 3 minutes. So, and if you want to use the chat feature to connect with a specific person, then please go direct with that person who you want to connect with after they've pitched. And then again, thanks for honoring those requests. And we're eager to get started. We have 10 pitchers tonight. Each pitcher will have 3 minutes to pitch their business, and that'll be followed by 2 minutes of Q&A with the judges. And the way Q&A works is that all 3 judges will ask their questions one after the other. So pitchers don't answer until all 3 judges have asked their question. And then you'll get 2 minutes on the clock. Tim will put that on. And then you can go ahead and start answering. And that if you're pitching, be sure that you have something to take some notes with. I'll remind you as well, but be sure you have something to take notes with for the judges' questions. And then don't start to answer again, as I said, until all 3 judges have asked their questions. And judges, just so you're aware, we rotate through. So pitcher 1 will be XYZ, and the next one will be YZA. And so we'll rotate around on the judges as well. So you won't always be the first person. So Tim, speaking of judges, who are the judges tonight?
Yeah, we have 3 amazing judges. And first up, we have a new judge, touches on the entrepreneurial side and also the NASA Langley Research Center side. We have Karen Miller joining us, where she provides thorough management from intake to exit. And she is able to analyze and solve problems with forward thinking and creative solutions. She values collaboration and understands how to work effectively in a team environment. Karen, thank you for joining us tonight. And next up, we have Bo Turner. Bo is a returning judge. He is a community builder, product designer, developer, author, maker, mentor, and creative professional, loving the startup life and the fun, fast-paced that it brings, along with the change and impact. One of the more recent projects that he's known for is 757 Makerspace, a community workshop and studio. Since 2013, he has provided tools and equipment for designers, technologists, innovators, artists, and creatives that share space to bring creative works to life. Thank you, Bo. And finally, we have Chris Davidson. Chris is also a returning judge, and he is the founder of Orca Strategies, a consulting firm focused on designing and implementing growth initiatives for companies, nonprofits, and communities. Previously, Chris held management and executive roles in the sectors of finance, technology, and commercial real estate. For over a decade, Chris has been involved in the Hampton Roads business startup ecosystem. He was an MC of Star Peninsula for 6 years and also works with high school entrepreneurship classes as a mentor and a judge. Thank you for joining us, Chris. So how will the program work in terms of pitching this evening? We'll have the first 5 pitchers present, and then we're going to take a short break. Once we return, the final 5 pitchers will pitch. Then the judges, we're going to whisk them off into their deliberation room, where they are going to fight, argue, kick, scream for the top 3 people that they see as deserving, that are going to win. And once they're done with that, we're going to bring them back into this webinar here, and then we're going to announce who those 3 people are that are going to advance to the championship pitch event. So pitchers, As a reminder, we know that you're nervous, so consider this a friendly reminder. When it's your turn to pitch, unmute yourself, share your screen if you have slides. Once your pitch is done, stop sharing your screen. Then the judges are going to ask their questions one after another. Once that last question is asked, then we're going to put 2 minutes on the clock so that you can address each of those questions. Then once you're done, mute your mic and sit back and enjoy the show. I will be your timer, so listen for me to tell you if you've run out of time, but I'm sure that you have all practiced enough that you're not going to go over in time, that you're going to finish with perfection. That said, let's get started with the first pitcher. Who do we have, Gary?
Oh, we got Howard Hessen is up first. Howard, are you ready? Drum roll, we give you the big intro. So please welcome Howard Hessen from funfirst.io.
I'm gonna say, let me not be the first person to ruin this whole thing. Hey everybody, how are you? My name is Howard Hessen, as you heard already. Quick question. When you were a kid, see if it works. When were you a kid? How did your teacher, your school show appreciation for all the hard work you did? Was it a scholar dollar? Was it a one of those fake bucks that you used to get and used to buy things inside of school? Do you remember how it motivated you to work harder? So again, my name is Howard Hess, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about classroom management. Boom. So classroom disruptions are detrimental and costly. They're estimated to take up to 50% of instructional time. And according to the National Association of School Psychologists, addressing student behavior costs the U.S. school districts $2 billion annually. Really expensive to deal with classroom behavior. The key to classroom behaviors is classroom management. So, tokenized incentive drives student engagement. What is FunFirst? FunFirst is a classroom management software based on the science of positive behavior intervention supports, or simply PBIS. Behavior science has shown us that highlighting a desired behavior is more likely to motivate a student than chastising them, like a lot of competitor softwares currently do that are on the market. How it works is simple. Using your smartboard, available in any classroom, or your mobile device, teachers can reward student behavior with virtual coins throughout the school day. Students are then able to use these coins to make purchases in their virtual school store. Our system promotes live behavior tracking, detailed analysis, instant communication, and with soon-to-be AI, artificial intelligence, insight for teachers. This is our team. So we've been working with schools from New York City to Baltimore, from Norfolk, Virginia to Virginia Beach. Our team brings a unique synergy combining a deep understanding of cutting-edge technology with years of hands-on experience in K-12 schools. This dual expertise allows us to seamlessly integrate technological innovation with current educational standards. So, taking a look at the market, our primary customer are teachers and the school districts that support them, right? So there are currently 13,000 districts representing 130,000 schools in the US alone. The annual Title I programming budget is about $16.5 billion. These are the funds that schools use to purchase things like software and resources for the school. And that breaks down to about $13,000 on average for each student. Our software stands out in the EdTech landscape through its innovative approach to classroom management. Unlike other softwares we see up here, we've seamlessly blended gamification with real-time analytics to create a platform that empowers teachers and motivates students. So far, we have tested our software in 5 different educational environments for 2 years, from classrooms to teachers to after-school programs.
Is time, Howard.
Okay, if you want to unshare your screen, Howard, and we'll get ready. You have something to catch some questions from the judges, just to write them down or whatever. And we'll give the judges a chance to fire some questions at you, and then you'll have 2 minutes to answer them. And Tim will start the clock when you start answering. So our first judge that we're going to hear from is Bo.
Excellent. Howard, great presentation. What does your current financial runway look like? You just got into the slide that talks about, looks like this is revenue generating for the 2023 year. on? And that would be my question.
And next, Chris.
Okay, love the positive approach to this problem, by the way. I had two questions. So, as I judge, I try to poke a hole in something, and even if it doesn't necessarily exist. So, are there possible data collection concerns on the part of parents or other stakeholders? Has that been expressed by anybody yet, or do you foresee that? And also, you mentioned that your customers are the teachers and the systems that support them. So is it both, or is it that the teacher is more the end user and the system is your customer?
And finally, Karen.
Yeah, so my question also was the security of building that security into that platform. How are you protecting the security of the children?
Okay, Hart, you have 2 minutes when you start answering, and Tim will let you know when time's up.
Awesome. So regarding the question about runway, we have over a year of runway for this program. It doesn't cost us very much to keep the server up. Again, a lot of it is based on usership. We don't have a lot of users putting stress on the system right now, so pretty low cost. With regards to the being compliant, yes, the concern would be privacy acts like being compliant with FERPA and COPA, which are both privacy acts for student data, and we are currently compliant. We are also working with a third party to make sure that we have a badge that indicates that, makes us more marketable. And last but not least, again, there was another question regarding privacy. A big part of what we do is we do not collect any data, specific demographic data on the student. A lot of that information is hosted through a third party vendor like Live School, which again, they house that kind of data. So as long as we work through them, we're compliant.
All right, if you're done, then that's time. Thank you, Howard.
Okay, judges, we'll give you just a couple seconds to record your answers. And we'll be ready for our second pitcher. And Leland, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. But you can go ahead and share your screen, but don't start yet. And I'll just look at the judges for a thumbs up. Chris is good. And Bo's good. And Karen, you good? Okay, everybody's good. Okay, everybody, please welcome our second pitcher, Leland Ramias from Roombrick.
All right. With home affordability at all-time lows and monthly payments at all-time highs, the American dream is but a fleeting concept. That's why we created Roombrick. It's a real estate technology platform that democratizes the way we conduct real estate transactions for military buyers and sellers, which brings affordability back to the marketplace. The problem with our current legacy system is that realtors have a monopoly on data entry, access, and there's a lack of consumer knowledge. All of these things result in high intermediary fees. This makes the real estate industry ripe for disruption. Now I want you to meet Matt. He's a first-time homebuyer and he has access to the 0% down VA loan. The problem is, on a $300,000 house, you will need to cover $9,000 in closing cost expenses, and that's after 0% down. He lacks procedural knowledge on the daunting real estate process, and scheduling showings can be time-consuming. Now, this is an actual closing disclosure. Closing costs and realtor commission can be expensive, but not with Roombrick. Roombrick offers step-by-step guidance on the home buying and selling process. You don't need to be an accountant to do your taxes, so why do you need to be a realtor to buy or sell a house? We offer offer simulators and contract writing tools to schedule your showings, education, and we do all this for a 1% technology fee. The average Roombrick user saves $7,500 versus a traditional realtor. So why us and why now? We truly believe we have founder market fit. I'm a Navy veteran. Chad is a top 1% lender. I am an award-winning realtor, and we both have startup experience. Additionally, we're both real estate investors. Now, our TAM is pretty massive, but what's realistic for us to hit the 1 million revenue mark, we really only need to capture 281 transactions in Virginia. That's 1.75% of the 757 market, or 0.7% of the Virginia market. Now, our competitors offer various for sale by owner tools, but we offer both sides of the transaction. And we can offer 3-week closes, and you can view homes on demand through our strategic partnerships. So what have we done since launch? In January, we launched. We just recently hit the $15,000 revenue mark. We've got another 25K in our 3-month pipeline. We were recently accepted to 757 Reactor, and we've got an average 5-star Google review from our customers. Thank you.
That's time.
Okay, if you unshare your screen and we'll get ready for the judges, grab something to write down some,
Let's see.
there you go.
Yeah.
And just grab something to catch some of the questions you're gonna ask. And we're gonna,
Right. Sounds good.
we're gonna start this time with Chris.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I'm sure you're probably expecting this question, but did the recent settlement with the NAR impact your business model or your planning in any kind of way? And for those who may not be familiar with it, maybe you can just sort of address that in a capsulated form. And are there any potential liability issues concerning compliance, disclosures, and that kind of thing for people who may be, not licensed?
Cool. Karen, you're next.
Yeah, how do you get around any legal liability issues from the customers who are using the platform?
And then Bo.
I think we're all thinking very similar as far as risk with that. One, great presentation, fantastic job. Are there any other risks that you're aware of, and how do you plan to mitigate those?
Okay, and Leland, you'll have 2
Yeah.
minutes to start answering, and Tim will let you know when your time is up.
Sure. So just to shine some light on the recent settlement, the National Association of Realtors, which is the largest union, and they have a lot of lobbying power on Capitol Hill. They're being sued for what is called cooperative compensation. So when you go to sell your home, realtors were essentially saying, we're going to pay a 6% price, and of that, 3% is going to go to the realtor. So that means that the buyer can't negotiate the commission. And it was also leading to steering, which means you're going to shift from showing a 1% listing to show 3% listings, because as a realtor, there's that price incentive there. So that's the background with that. That is actually going to be a springboard for us. With us being the low cost competitor, we're actually able to do the same things that a realtor did, but for less. And so we actually make our clients' offers more competitive in that situation. As far as liability and disclosures, we have a pretty rock solid user agreement. Our lawyer is an ex-Cooley lawyer who started his own firm. And so, you don't need a realtor. If you were to go direct to a listing agent, all you really need is a closing attorney. So we also have a strategic partnership with Coleman & Coleman PLC, local to Virginia Beach, who help us with our real estate transactions on the legal side, because that's technically all you really need to perform a transaction. So that coupled with our rock solid user agreement is how we get around any liability. And at that point, it's just as if a consumer had all the knowledge put together on one platform. Before this, it was pretty much just scraping the different forums. So second question kind of touched on that already as far as
That
legal
is
liability
time,
as well.
Leland.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Give the judges just a few seconds to update their sheets. And Elia, are you ready? You're going to be next.
Yeah, I'm ready, Gary.
Don't share your screen yet. Let me just wait till I get a thumbs up from the judges, and then. So Karen's good, Bo's good, Chris is good. Okay, you can go ahead and share your screen, and then
Thank
I'll
you.
introduce you.
Did you know there are over 13,000 CrossFit gyms globally with an estimated 2.4 million active athletes? In fact, spending in CrossFit and functional fitness this year alone is expected to exceed $150 million. And while many services will be sold, athletes and coaches continue to face the same daily question of, What workout should I do? We solved this problem by creating workout cards, 52 functional fitness workouts delivered in card deck format. Users choose a workout card, flip it over, and scan the QR code on the back, bringing them into our app where they can track their results. The app works on a subscription-based model where all card users enter into a 30-day free trial upon sign-up. We now have an actively growing global community of over 1,200 athletes from over 30 countries. And while these athletes actively create and log workouts on a daily basis, they still share one struggle in common. They train alone. Countless studies have proven significant increase in commitment to training and results by being a member of a social fitness community. My name is Elias Solray. I am a competitive CrossFit athlete, coach, and founder of WODBump, a functional fitness platform that empowers athletes to train, share, and grow together. Within a 100-mile radius of Newport News, there are 40 CrossFit gyms with an estimated 5,000 members. And while some members will know each other, most do not. Everyone has different schedules and all train at different times, thus significantly reducing the fitness community engagement and cohesiveness. We are changing this. I'm actively in the process of going to all 40 gyms, introducing, sharing, and promoting WODBump. WODBump workout cards act both as a lead generation tool and fitness product by easily inviting athletes to be part of a community and then connecting them as members to their gyms and coaches through the app. On average, we are currently growing WODBump between 3 to 7 members per day. And with a hyper-focused approach, we can bring the same growth into each gym's community. The new WODBump social platform will connect athletes to their gyms and coaches in the 757 region, thus maintaining a greater member participation, which equates to more consistent and reliable revenue. Because of the global nature of CrossFit and the loyalty of its members, it would only be expected for the continued growth and sharing of our social platform, expanding WODBump far beyond Virginia. Thank you.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. And judges you got something to, actually, Elia, you got something to write some questions down?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
start this time with Karen.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that presentation. What do you think sets you apart from other online platforms that are already in existence?
And next we'll go to Bo.
Excellent. And I think I missed the part in there on the revenue side. I just want to understand a little bit more about that revenue model. I saw the customer acquisition, how that part's growing. You just touch a little bit on that, and then what you need sustainability wise to keep that going.
And then Chris.
Okay, I wrote really interesting idea with the playing cards and the QR codes. That's really cool. By the way, I love the idea so much that could actually expand just beyond this particular industry, I think. But my questions specifically are, do individual gym owners and or trainers see this as a as competition to their own programs possibly? And then the second question was also about the who's the actual customer and what were the revenue projections. So along with Bo, I was curious about the revenue.
Okay, so when you're ready to answer, you'll get 2 minutes and Tim will let you know when your time's up.
Right, great. I'll start with Bo and Chris's question about revenue. So right now there's 2 models for that. The first is the athlete so business to consumer. We have the athletes. So there's the subscription model where the athletes are paying a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription to the app. The other model which we are introducing is the business to gym or business to coach model, which will then cover the athlete cost for those users. So what sets it apart is that there are other gym management softwares, other softwares in the functional fitness space that do similar services, but they don't focus on a social community. The social aspect is really important to a lot of athletes. I have traveled to over 40 gyms and talked with many coaches and athletes, and they value the social aspect significantly more than just the ability to write in their notes or book a class. And then, so that's it.
Are you done?
Yes.
I
Okay.
think so. Okay. We didn't want to cut you off if you had anything else you wanted to say. Great. Thanks for answering those. We'll get a thumbs up from the judges when they're ready and we'll move on to the next pitcher. So Chris is he's good to go. And Karen and Bo, awesome. All right, Matthew, are you ready?
Sorry, I was on the other screen, so skipping a step.
Yep, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Absolutely.
So please welcome Matthew Lynch from Christos Commission Covenant Conglomerate Corporation.
Thank you very much. Yes, and a lot to present on. We'll do my best to cut through what we're working on at the conglomerate, really wrapping up at the end with what's in our purview and what our next steps are. I'll dive right in with a little commercial here. So we've got a crowdsourced nursery with seed stores. We've got Faithful Fast Food, which is 24/7 organic, a menu of menus, competing with all 50 of the top fast food restaurants in one location, whether it be a ghost kitchen, a drive-through, or a food truck. Often we find that the problem involves the solution, and that's what I'll say to these next few slides on how we're tackling opportunity being able to be evenly distributed with talent being evenly distributed. We are focused on Faithful Fast Food at the Dominion Tower as such, planting a flagship precedence, as well as using the office space upstairs to run our crowdfunding efforts to be the crowdfunding capital and the gig economy platform of peace. We are having a lot of fun with our three main brands of Stewards, SRBRS, and Celebration, all under the conglomeracy of Eternal Enterprises, Holy Holdings, and Potter's Promises. So thank you. This is the Christos Commission Covenant Conglomerate Corporation. Please check out our partners. Think about working with us to be a coach, a consultant, a volunteer. Here's our information on how Dominion Tower is going to be working for us. Well, that's coming up right here, as well as a variety of funding sources. So a community platform, Own Social, which a neighbor company, a variety of great things. So we thank y'all. Not sure how much time I have here, but just really impressed with what we can do with funnels to exact on our revenue goals and our talent goals. And I'll cede whatever time I have left.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. You want to unshare your screen?
Yes, sir.
And then we'll, you got something to catch some of the questions from the judges?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. We're going to start this time with Bo.
Excellent. I guess I was trying to understand any traction or milestones that you've achieved to date to be able to hit that way, like what's been done, what's tangible. You mentioned a lot on what's coming with that. Thanks.
And then we'll go to Chris.
I'm just kind of curious, what is your goal here at Start Peninsula? Well, like what made you want to pitch this here?
And then Karen.
Yeah, one, I wanted to, who exactly is the customer, the end user for this? And what's the cost model?
Okay, so Matthew, you'll have 2 minutes once you start answering, and Tim will let you know when your time is up.
Great, excellent. So let me skip around a little bit here. Our customer is, we'll start with seed stores, would be someone growing plants at their home who would be willing to grow trees in their same windowsill or in a greenhouse. The customers of Faithful Fast Food are largely pouring their own food, their own coffees, because we can't find organic fast food. We can find organics out there on DoorDash, and that's been good. So one quote that I like is that ghost kitchens and delivery apps have flipped the dining more on its head, and the blood flow has resulted in something like Faithful, something like what would come about with conventional food in the same setting, this menu of menus object of entering the trillions in the fast food world. So we have a lot of goals, thank you, Chris, with validating our business, with achieving certain funding milestones, the 3,000 with VWIC, the up to 5,500 to Start Peninsula, the 175,000, I'm sorry, with VIPC, the 10,000 with Urban Strategies, the 300,000 with LISC and RISE. So these traction milestones are just being organized in these ways, trying to find nicheful ventures that we can help people go forth in ways that they already do go forth. We saw up there dwelling home businesses, which encompasses these things like Garage Garrison, Serene Slopes, Christ Studio, Office Ceremony, where people can accent what they're already doing, say running a home rental out of, so the cost model and the customers, very fun to get into. We got some good data from SBDC. I don't know that I have enough time to delve in on these properly, but I really do thank you all for the questions and for the consideration tonight, and wish everyone the best of luck. And we are using Amazon Whole Foods, and then we're looking to create a farms system called Faithful Farms, which would be crowdfunded. The eggs from the backyard eggs we use for mayonnaise.
And
Thanks,
that's
everyone.
time. Thank you, Matthew.
Hey, thank you. All right, give the judges just a few seconds here. And next up, we're gonna go to Elia Hall. Are you ready? Oh, don't start yet, though.
Oh.
Hang on 1 second, just so I can see if the judges are ready. Karen's good, Bo's good, and Chris is good. Okay, awesome. Okay, please welcome our next pitcher, Elia Hall from Hercule Q.
So the challenges that companies face when it comes to keeping their e-bikes and e-scooters charged for their consumers to use is extremely concerning. That's why we've engineered a game-changing solution specifically tailored to meet the need of micromobility providers. Introducing Hercule Q, a company dedicated to creating wireless charging solutions for light electric vehicles such as e-bikes and e-scooters. Micromobility companies are faced with challenges such as profit loss, excessive downtime, long charging times, and excessive handling with their current charging infrastructure. We've gathered data from users stating that they can never locate any charged scooters to use. Therefore, these companies need new and innovative solutions. We've created a solution that not only provides convenience, but will help these companies meet sustainability goals, increase profits, and provide a touch-free automated charging experience for both the companies and their users. Utilizing inductive technology, users will be able to ride up to the docking station, park their e-bike or e-scooter, charge, and go. We want to make it as simple as possible for users to just grab and go when needed. And of course, we'll have a software element that users can interact with as well. Hercule Q's innovative approach combines cutting-edge inductive technologies, offering a hybrid solution that guarantees efficient and sustainable power transfer to light electric fleets, providing hassle-free charging experiences for both the companies and their riders. Our target market includes micromobility providers such as Bird, Lime, Tier Mobility, and Spin. Lime has a huge presence right now in Hampton Roads and is a leading micromobility provider that is expanding at rapid rates. Our market entry strategy includes partnering with Lime and establishing a pilot program on college campuses such as Hampton University and other colleges in the Hampton Roads community. Implementing our solution on a college campus is really important, and it gives us a controlled environment to test and improve our solution over time. College campuses also have a limiting factor of parking that students commonly complain about. There is a solution that caters to that problem, and it's us. And from there, we can expand to other areas in the city. Hercule Q is a dedicated company trying to provide wireless charging solutions for light electric vehicles such as e-bikes and e-scooters that are reliable, durable, and easy to use. Thank you for your time. My name is Aaliyah Hall, and I am the co-founder and CMO of Hercule Q. For more information, you can visit our website or email us to get connected. Thanks again.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're gonna start, grab something to write down the questions. Are you ready for that? Okay, and we're gonna start this time with Karen.
All right. So Aaliyah, thank you for your presentation. Question, have you done an actual, tested this in the local regional market? If so, what was the outcome of that?
And Bo?
Yes, Aaliyah, great presentation, very polished. Your deck looks great. To get a little better understanding in this, where are you actually at in the development process? Is this just an early stage idea? Or whereabouts is this? Do you have working prototypes? What do you need next? And then what protection do you have with the technology direction that you're choosing?
And Chris?
Great presentation. Good job identifying this problem. This is a huge problem. I wrote down a few questions, pick and choose at your discretion, but how standardized are the batteries on these machines? So will they all be able to work with just one standard unit made by your company? What would prevent some of these service providers from doing this in-house? And are you planning to manufacture this? Or are you planning to license this idea out? And are there any safety concerns? Again, kind of pick and choose at your discretion.
Okay, when you're ready to answer, Tim will give you 2 minutes and then he'll let you know when your time's up.
Gotcha. Okay. So as far as testing and regional market, we have done testing. We have people on our team that are actually still in college that are testing it, that are asking students how they feel about bringing this on a campus. Students really want this system to be implemented on college campuses. So we definitely have that demand there. Also, interesting enough, Lime actually reached out to Hampton about doing a partnership, but Hampton never reached back out. So we know that there's interest there. So where are we at as far as development? We actually have a student that goes to Inca. He's a senior engineer. He's working on prototyping our system right now. So it's still in ideation. We're still trying to develop our system, but we know that it's possible and it works. We also have 4 NASA patents that we've been approved for and that back us in essentially creating our system. Things such as like the NASA inductive power transfer technology and also the battery management system that help us to vet that partnership with these big companies. Our protection is obviously NASA, and we do plan to continue to test and develop our system as we go along to make sure that we can provide the most efficient solution. As far as standardizing our batteries, we don't know yet. Until we can have like our first official prototype, then we can get more information about that. And as far as manufacturing, we do plan to manufacture. We are trying to partner with these bike companies, but the bike companies work with their own manufacturers. So we will be having to reach out to them and establish that partnership in a 3-way form, if that makes sense. So that would kind of prevent them from doing it in-house because they don't actually own their own bikes. They use other manufacturers, and a lot of the bike companies use the same manufacturer to get these bikes. Is my time up?
20 seconds, 15 seconds.
Oh, I think I answered everything. What do we need next? We need funding. We need about like 2.3 million, but that's like a really big estimate. So we're just trying to do as many pitch competitions and apply for as many grants as we can to get the funding to get some funding to prototype and test our system.
That's
Thanks,
time.
guys.
Okay, thank you. We're ready to move on to our next pitcher, who's going to be Cheryl. Cheryl, are you ready?
I am ready.
Perfect.
You
want to go
share
ahead?
this.
Yeah, go
share
ahead
the
and share the screen.
Ready? Oops, sorry. And you said,
Yeah, when you share, there's 2 little buttons at the bottom before they hit the share button. They're to the left of the share button. If you click on the green share screen, and then you'll get
right.
another, and then on that screen, you'll see share button at the bottom right, and then you'll see 2 little buttons.
Okay. Oh.
Should be good. Okay, please welcome Cheryl Berry from Our Brand Media.
You're watching Our Brand, independent, empowering, ours.
Film industry in the United States and Canada is worth approximately $26 billion. The movie box office each year sees $6 billion. 91% of independent creators don't see any screenplay, and less than 4% of them make a profit. Television advertising expenditures, $60 billion market. Of online streamers, 35% reported making any money, somewhere between $25 and $199. And does it make any sense? Because consumers are now reported to be spending more time watching independently created content than with Hollywood produced content. Ad spending is growing twice as fast with creator content versus professionally produced streaming content. Production in the creator economy has increased 15 times since 2017. This is a huge market. 300 million people watching TV in the United States, 42 million people streaming. Roku states a 20% growth to 80 million. We desire to penetrate 8% of this market, or approximately 3.4 million people. The solution is Our Brand Media, Our Brand TV. I'm Cheryl Berry, the founder of Our Brand Media and Our Brand TV. We designed a multi-distribution video network where we've made it easy to upload content, complete payment, order, download necessary agreements. The independent creator need only upload the content in the correct and professionally filmed format, and we take it from there. We allow creators to do what they do best, which is create, and have a channel that enhances their overall exposure to the marketplace and minimizes their need for marketing efforts. Our competitive edge, we reach outside of the local broadcast television, radio markets. We have easy upload and booking methods, simplified access, synchronization of platform, easy access, and separate apart. Our concept and design, the channel is free for viewers.
And
Content
that is
creators.
time.
Okay, thank you. If you want to unshare your screen, and we'll get the judges ready to ask you some questions. And be sure that you have something to capture the judges' questions. And we're going to start with, this time with Bo.
All right, sorry about that. Great presentation. That is a huge market, and we have this discussion all the time at my house. So I'm really excited to see the solution that you come up with. I know you got cut just a little bit short at the end there. I'd like to understand a little bit more about the business model, if you could speak to that kind of briefly, and the differentiation that you have for that from the rest of them.
And Chris is next.
Okay, I wrote, great start with that logo intro. That was pretty cool. This is definitely a real problem, and I feel like the conglomerates have been failing the consumers. I mean, look at the fight that Iger's got on his hands with Disney right now in the board nominations. So I think that this is definitely a well-identified problem. Couple of questions. So is your actual customer the content creators or the consumers or both? Why 8% market penetration? Where did that number come from? And is your actual competition, is it YouTube and other monetized platforms? How are you different? Is it an app? Is that how it's delivered? And how do you moderate and approach quality control? That's a lot for you there. Again, pick and choose.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes, and when you start answering, Tim will set the clock and let you know when your time's up.
Did we hear questions from
Karen?
Oh, Karen, sorry, I forgot Karen.
Karen.
Yes.
No, that's okay. I want to know if you've identified any risks, especially with allowing the creators just to upload. You have a screening process or somebody moderating that on the back end. What are those risks, and what have you done to identify to eliminate risk?
Okay, there you go, Cheryl.
So I'll go in reverse order because I think Karen's question is the easiest to answer. We have legal agreement forms in place that the creators are required to sign that they own their own content. And yes, we'd like to screen them. We'd like to partner with some company like Google that has a reverse, they have an engineered product that can detect counterfeits and things of that nature. So we'd like to have access to that. But in terms of risk, the content creators have to sign agreements that the content belongs to them and that quality control and that meets decency standards. In terms of the business model and how the business model differs, We are a synchronized platform. So YouTube and Facebook are separate entities. They don't sync with Roku and Fire TV. We actually have apps currently that I'm demoing on Apple and Google Play Store, and they all synchronize together. So when we stream something, it streams live across all of the platforms together at one time. And that is a differentiator because all the other ones are autonomous by themselves. The revenue model is actually multifold because we can get revenue from the creator, from sponsors, and from the ad platform itself. We're not charging customers because you make money the more eyeballs that you get. Creators, they want eyeballs. That's their biggest thing. Out of 20 people, 50 people I've interviewed, they just want people to see their content. And so you detract when you start charging viewers to watch the content. And I hope I answered everybody's questions thoroughly.
Me too, because that's time.
Okay, thank you. We'll, I'll just wait a few seconds for the judges to give me a thumbs up. Next is going to be Diamond. So Bo's good. Chris is good. And Karen's good. Awesome. Diamond, are you ready?
Yep, I am. Let me pull up my screen.
You can go ahead and share your screen. Please welcome Diamond Gorman from Ready Kids Learning and Development Center.
Hey, hello guys. Ready Kids Learning Center. We're changing construction and welcoming diversity. The problem is construction families need on-call, reliable childcare during irregular work hours. And our solution is an online marketplace connecting construction workplace with qualified caregivers in their areas for the projects designated directly for childcare givers that are in the area of where the projects are being done for construction. The marketplace journey is DBE compliant construction firms will customize caregiver solicitations during bidding process. The caregivers will manage bookings and they're awarded a long process of when the construction firm is awarded the process. And firms will offer child care benefits, and then the construction proceeds uninterrupted with reliable child care in place. So just like how a firm will bid a project to be awarded from the DOT, that child care integration will be inside of that marketplace as well, working simultaneously. Marketplace opportunity. Construction is a 1.8 trillion market. Childcare is 59.87 billion, which is a huge demand for tailored childcare in the construction industry. Our business model will be revenue from service fees, subscriptions, and additional features that will be all on the marketplace. And our marketing strategy is digital marketing partnerships with DOT, nonprofit organizations that do small business and diversity, as well as the OCCFP, which is compliance-based for the federal government to mandate these FHA processes and programs, and community outreach to reach our audiences. Our growth plan, the product development, so we do want to create the market platform software, and then strategic DOT and DOL partnerships, like I talked about. This is our team. I'm the owner of Ready Kids Hub, which we have a child care hub where we do service on-care child care services for our construction company. But of course, with that model, we have to grow. But the only way to grow is to partner with other small child care businesses to do that. And then we have Tajir Lewis, who's our software designer, which will be creating the platform for us when we do get out of our ideal stage of our business. Funding that we need is seeking investment to create the software for scaling the operations. And you can join us in reshaping childcare. And if you would like, let's connect. Thank you.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. Great. This time you have something to write down the judges' questions?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to start this time with Chris.
Okay, thank you so much, Diamond. This is a big problem. There is plenty and plenty and plenty of demand out there for this. But my question is, why just construction? I'm guessing maybe there's a personal tie to that, and that's how you identified the problem. But there seem to be other industries that have similar challenges to construction. So I'm just curious why you picked that one. And what are the regulatory issues you're going to face? Because I'm sure that they are going to be plentiful. And what about current competition? Thank you.
And Karen?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Yes, childcare is it's a necessity, but we have a lack of an issue. But you mentioned qualified in your presentation, and want to hear what your definition of qualified childcare, especially given all the regulations that are in place for childcare.
And Bo.
Again, great presentation, and kind of echoing what was said here as well. And really interested in the regulation side of that, but also what do you need to move forward into the next step? Like what's stopping you from there, and how, and what do you need? Thank you.
Okay, so you'll have 2 minutes, and when you start answering the questions, Tim will give you the 2 minutes, and he'll let you know when your time's up.
Okay. So I'll answer the last question. What do we need? Of course, we do need funding. At the current time, we need $65,000 to create this software that would be a platform to integrate into our bidding system, as well as just being able to have a software where the childcare suppliers can come in and actually navigate through the marketplace. And that is just our quote for that. So we've just been doing pitch competitions and things like that to raise up funds for that, because it's a segue off of our current business. The qualifications for qualified would be, for one, it would be based for diversity. And we really do want to, as far as that regulatory form and process, we want to cater it as for small businesses. A lot of the FHA mandated guidelines are really qualified for small business and diversity, including women into the construction realms. So we want to be able to, for childcare businesses that are already in business, that are already following compliance and regulation, so that we don't have to get into that problem of qualified. So what they would be doing is childcare centers that want those grants initiatives, that want to be able to use and partner with the DOT and DOL to meet those compliances. We're doing a middleman type of basis that we are meeting construction to childcare without childcare owners having to actually know how construction companies bid. And then the last question, why construction? So I do own a traffic control company. I own a flagging company, Ready Employment Agency, where we hire flaggers in the construction. We are a DBE business here in the state of Virginia. I had a baby last year, and was just a whole whirlwind. I opened a child care center to help women and invite them into this into this construction realm, and realize that I cannot hire women without giving childcare. But childcare business owners only know how to do childcare, and construction only knows how to do construction. So I had to be the middleman in order to include the both to be able to solve the
And
DOT.
that's time.
Okay, thank you. We'll give the judges just a few minutes or a few seconds to update their sheets. Chris is good. Bo's good. Karen's good. Okay. Our next and final pitcher is going to be Hastina Newberry. Are you ready?
Yes, and I will not have slides for this presentation.
Okay, so you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay. It's that if I lost a couple pounds, I could slide into my favorite jeans or dress or the other piece of clothing I can't seem to get rid of. It's that wishing I knew to carb a load before trying to run that wicked 10K race, as it could have saved me from my race-ending mile 1 cramps. It's the single young professional who doesn't have the time to plan or research a week's worth of eating. Now, I know these experiences are not unique to me. Like information, there are tons of recipes out there, but not as many resources that will help you map out your nutritional journey. Enter OnJ Marketplace, selling meal plans for the everybody. Anje, in Nigerian Yoruba means food, will be an online platform where nutritionists can create and sell meal plan packages to customers. Customers can also work with their chosen curator to customize a meal plan specifically for their needs. Now, special shout out to my food allergy sufferers because I'm also in that pot. I know the diet industry is highly competitive. That is why I will be focusing on the smaller market of personalized nutrition. Personalized nutrition global market value stands at only $43.4 billion, of which the United States has claimed the largest revenue share at 41.5% in 2022. Anje can serve as a supplemental service to the emerging AI and genome-based personalized nutrition businesses. It can also become a direct competitor to all meal kit services, as I plan to add meal prep and delivery in phase 2, offering greater customization via tailored meal plans, greater ingredient visibility, and carry no inventory in hopes of passing down the cost savings to customers. My name is Tina Newbury, aka Hastina, the founder and lead web developer for Anje. Instead of eating just to eat with a purpose, and eat to secure a healthier future you. Thank you. Oh, how much time I got left?
What's that?
Do I have any time left?
You have about 20 seconds.
Yep.
Wow, I really proud to do that. But so I'm looking for a co-founder, and I'm also building out the platform as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, judges, we're going to start this time. Oh, Tina, do you have something to write it down? The questions from the judges? Okay, got it. All right, we're going to start with Karen.
Yeah, so thanks for the idea, because a lot of the foods in those packages I don't like to eat. So I love the customization. A couple of questions. First of all, you said a nutritionist. Are you going to have a nutritionist on staff consult, or are you a nutritionist? And 2, you mentioned a lot of tasks built into the planning of this, baking the food, identifying the foods, making the foods, the delivery. As you're a one-person show, are you going to have, how much staff do you need to make this successful?
Okay, and Bo?
Great presentation. In particular, good job on the ask, telling us what it is that you need. So even if, depending on what comes out of here, that really proud of you for doing that. It was a great job of filling that time. Two statements that I'm hoping that you can speak to. One is quality control. How are you going to ensure the quality of the meals and the qualifications of the nutritionists, dietitians, of what is on the platform? How are they vetted for that? And then as you get to phase 2, logistics and delivery, how are you going to manage that?
And Chris.
Okay, great presentation. Love your passion for this. So it sounds to me like this is an online marketplace. So if you could get into a little bit about how the revenue model works, that would be fantastic, because I've heard you talk about, parameters or content or whatever it is that your company will provide. But then I also heard you say it's a place where nutritionists can sell their ideas and recipes or whatever it is directly to other consumers. So if you can kind of talk about how you make money, that'd be great.
Okay, and then Tim is going to give you 2 minutes for your answers. And then when your time's up, he'll start when you start talking. And then when your time's up, he'll let you know that time's up.
Okay.
Yep, so go ahead.
Okay. As far as nutritionists and for going towards Karen's question, as far as nutritionists and how much staff do I need to execute this idea? No, I am not a nutritionist. I'm just a web developer. As far as having nutritionists on staff, I'm hoping it could be kind of like Udemy as far as an idea. So individual nutritionists can come onto the platform and create meal plans and it'll be kind of like a package where customers can come onto the online platform and purchase them. And how much staff do I need? Honestly, I do not know. This is an idea, and that's something I'll have to explore in the future. As far as the revenue model, again, it's just for phase one, it's just to have packages sold to customers. But as far as the phase two would be concerning, that would be charging by the meal package, and so for example, if they're looking for a week worth of food, then they would charge per meal for that. And as far as quality control and managing logistics, I was hoping that kitchens, okay, geez, I feel so nervous. I'm so sorry.
2 seconds.
I don't think I'm going
It's
to finish answering
time.
that.
Okay. Was that time, Tim?
That is time. Yep.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Tina. Okay, so judges will let you finish up your sheets there, and then we're going to send the judges. You already have the room you're supposed to go to. I believe we're going to send the judges and Dan and Madison off to that room, and then Tim has our next activity. So bye, judges.
I thought that you were going to lead us in a dance, Gary.
Oh, that's interpretive dance, and Bo and Chris were going to help with that when they come back.
Chris could help.
Are we doing icebreakers?
Don't go there, Tim. Actually, if we ever get back to live events, I'll tap dance for you guys.
Oh, great.
Question, the link for the breakout room, was that emailed to us?
It should be in your chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. Okay, perfect.
It's in the chat.
I'm not very good watching a chat, and
Yeah, it's tough.
And then Madison can help you, but then you'll come back to this room again when you've finished your deliberations.
got it. Thank you.
See you
Thank
later.
you.
Tim, it's all you.
Yeah, so just making
Karen's
sure
still
that-
trying to go. Hang on one sec.
yeah, we can't talk about the judges until all the judges are gone.
Oh, Karen's gone. Okay.
No, appreciate you all doing this. I like the fact that I'm not a judge because, and I always mention this, I just get emotionally attached to you all. I know what it's like. I've worked with so many different founders, so I appreciate you taking the time, showing the courage to pitch your business. It's not easy, and it's never going to be easy, but especially in this setting, this Start Peninsula is a platform to validate your business idea. So this may be one of the very first times that you have shared this idea with anyone. So thank you for stepping up. Thank you for doing that. And this is, as I mentioned in the intro, this is the very first event of the year for 2014. Some of you participated in Pitch Perfect, some of you did not. So for those that don't advance and make it forward, I encourage you to attend Pitch Perfect. We have the next Pitch Perfect we have scheduled is for May 1st, and that's in preparation for the micro pitch number 2, which is going to take place on May 15th. Gary and I lead that class, very low threat environment for you all to participate in. But we teach you the basics in terms of what it is that you need to know, and we help tighten up the things that need to be tightened up with regards to your pitch. So encourage you to do that, and that is one of the things why we this used to be just a once a year thing. We separated this to 4 times a year because if you were nervous, we didn't want anyone to have to wait for a whole nother year to pass before you had the opportunity to present your business. So this being the first one, we have our second one in May, like I mentioned, that's May 15th is micro pitch number 2. Micro pitch number 3 is September 11th, and micro pitch number 4 is October 9th. Top 3 from each of those will represent the top 12 and the championship pitch November 6th. So with that, part of what we do in Pitch Perfect is we talk about how to address the Q&A, so that we avoid those nerves. We make sure that no time is wasted, either on the front end or the back end. And this is a skill that you're going to need regardless where you are. This is just the very, very first step in your business journey. Gary, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
No, I think you've covered it. I would say just don't get discouraged. You know, if you don't end up moving on from here, then come back to the May one. And I really do, and I would encourage you to go to the Pitch Perfect thing. If you may have heard it before, but what happens at the end of those training sessions is that we ask people if they want to give it a shot. And then so you have a great opportunity to pitch and share with me and Tim and the rest of the people who are in the class what you're going to talk about. And then we can give you feedback then, and you still have 2 weeks to work on it. So, and make it even better. And so that's a great opportunity. It's only 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours on that evening. So I would encourage that as well. And then the other thing that we encourage people to do at that Pitch Perfect is to, if you have, I think everybody can get a free Zoom account for, is it 20 minutes or something, or 40 minutes? And is to go ahead and start your session for yourself and record it, or set your phone up and record it, and just look at it, go back and record it, go back and look at how you're doing with it. And you can see what everybody else is going to see the night of the pitch. So those are really good opportunities for you to practice beforehand. So that was all I would add.
And I joke about when we were waiting for Karen to leave so we could talk about the judges. In all seriousness, those are just there are 3 people that of the world of however 7 billion. They are just 3 people with three opinions. That is not the end all be all. So you have to keep that in mind as well. It's you got to get yourself up, dust yourself off, find out what I'm happy to provide feedback. I'm sure Gary is happy to provide feedback. What we can do is we will go back and we will look at your pitch and we'll let you know what, again, just our opinions in terms of what can be improved upon. But I will say that I have worked with thousands of founders and have heard even more thousands of pitches. So take advantage of those opportunities, and get back on the horse. What certainly open up the floor to any questions that you all have as we wait for the.
And one thing I would add too, that we do talk about it, the Pitch Perfect things, but that is that sometimes people don't want to go and do those things because they feel like they'd be vulnerable. And vulnerability actually is a strength. And if you go and get used to setting yourself out there and letting people see what you need. I remember when I was first starting my business that somebody said to me, Gary, you have to tell people what you need or they can't help you. And so that's part of this pitch thing, is to tell people what you need, and they will help you. But if you don't tell them, then there's no way they would ever offer, because either they don't want to insult you, or they think if you really needed something, you would ask. But so many people are afraid to ask. And so that's in the pitch practice that Tim and I do, is we'll encourage you to ask for help. Yes, Cheryl.
Hey, Gary, I need a co-founder.
Yeah, then people know that.
I mean, I'm mentioning that since you seem to be well connected. You could just tell people for me, Tim. I'm looking for a co-founder.
I'm on my way out of life, so I'm not sure if I'm as
Hey,
connected.
the boat is not a metaphor for on your way out of life. Your boat is a metaphor for, I don't know, peace, tranquility.
Exactly, exactly.
But
Yeah,
in all seriousness, this finding a co-founder is like step one of a successful business journey, because you need to be able. So say you want to invest, get investment from an angel investor or whatever. Like that's one of the first litmus tests. Are you able to communicate with somebody and find someone and for lack of better words, convince them to join this journey with you that is called a startup. It is not an easy journey. We've talked about that already. But that is like the first test. Can you convince somebody to do that? I encourage everyone to always find someone that thinks differently. You don't want to bring a co-founder in that thinks like you, acts like you, has the same skill sets as you. You definitely want to make sure that you bring someone that offsets the strengths that you have, so that you have a well-rounded team.
Yeah. That's what I
yeah.
need.
And the thing that this is old people talk clearly, but what I'm going to tell you is that when I started my business in 1998, there was no help like this. There was nothing. It was the wild, wild west. Nobody was helping anybody. Everybody told me I was an idiot. My business has lasted 26 years. So you just got to go out and do it. But back in the day, there was no help. So that you have help and there are people interested in these communities, then that's such a great thing. That you don't have to go out and hope, because hope is a terrible strategy, right? It's not a strategy. But anyway,
Boone, North Carolina.
what's that?
Boone, North Carolina. You're way out
Yeah,
there.
I used to live in Williamsburg and I moved here in the midst of the pandemic. My brother had some land and he sold it to me, and he lives across the road, and yeah, life is slower and peaceful, and I live at 3,800 feet and look at mountains. So it's kind of cool.
What do you do, Gary?
What's that?
What do you do? What is your business?
Oh, I'm a communications coach. I work with businesses and executives and different people to help them be able to tell their story better and speak about what they need to speak about, work with their teams, and really just the way they communicate. Are they doing it in the most effective way? So that's my job. It's been pretty much the same for all these years. So, well, I have a direct message that says we have results and our judges are back, and Chris is going to tap dance for us. No, I'm just kidding. So, are you guys ready to hear some results? But we're not doing that yet because we have to get a picture of
Thank you,
everybody
Gary. Yeah.
first. So make sure your camera is on and you're looking like you need to look, and Tim or Madison or somebody will do the picture. And Tim, give us the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this. All right, everyone look and smile. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do one more just in case. All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Yeah, it's always perfect. It's good to look at your camera when the picture happens.
That's right.
Because if you're not looking at the camera, it can't see. This is always a great picture. Because someone's looking at the camera down the bottom. Okay, are you ready? Tim, do you have anything to say before?
I said everything that I wanted to say. Is there any overall feedback that any of the judges would like to pass along without making any big
just
reveals?
general feedback that would help everyone in the room.
Yeah, first of all, if you're not getting through today, don't give up, because there were ideas that we talked about in deliberations where we were just like, great idea, just not quite there yet. So don't let that be a discouragement to you. And we have had people in the past with Start Peninsula, Tim and I have been involved since like year one, literally, that didn't make it through, but then came back and won other competitions after that. So just stay encouraged, even if you don't make it through today.
Anything from any other judges, Bo or Karen?
Yes, great job. Just kind of piggybacking on what Chris said, you each did a wonderful job with your presentation. Your market research was great. I wish we could have had much longer time individually with you. And I look forward to seeing each of your ideas. And even if it's not this idea, but it's your next one, to progress. Thank you for being here.
And I just want to say thanks for allowing me to be here with you guys. I know a couple of you said you were nervous. That's okay. We know you're nervous. We're nervous for you as judges. So just keep practicing that pitch. It gets better and better every time you do it. And just keep massaging your idea and don't give up on your dreams.
There you go. Thanks, judges. You guys ready for some results? You ready? I'm not seeing enthusiasm about being ready for the results. Okay,
Yeah,
woo.
ready.
There you go. All right. This is not in any particular order. It's just random. So the top three who will move on from here to go to the one in November, and that means you have all this time to practice. So first is Cheryl Berry and Our Brand Media.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next
you.
is Leland Ramias and Vroombrick. And finally, but not last, just the third one I'm going to mention is Aaliyah Hall and Hercule Q.
Great job, everyone.
Awesome. Congratulations to you all.
Congrats.
And again, a special thanks to all of the localities that make this possible. Our host locality, Newport News, the city of Hampton, city of Williamsburg, Poquoson, James City County, York County. They all contribute money to make this program possible. So that seed funding that comes in the forms of prizes, that they are the localities. They stand behind entrepreneurship. They are supporting you. It wouldn't be possible without them. So thank you to those localities. To Dan Gerard, thank you so much for all of your help. Dan's he's another OG, very first judge at the very first Start Peninsula 13 years ago. To our judges, thank you for sharing your time and donating your time to provide the feedback. It means so much. Karen, Chris, Bo, thank you. To Gary, Madison, James, all of us in the back and the core team, thank you all for making this possible. It takes a lot of work, so thank you. And to the winners, congratulations. To those that didn't make it, reach out, touch base. In the emails that went out to everyone was the judges' LinkedIn profiles, so you're connected with them. Leverage those networks. And I'm proud of you all. Any parting words, Gary?
Nope. Just
Thank
congrats.
you, Tim.
Yep. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.